Good morning, and welcome, dare I say it for the last time, to HeadTrip Air. For those of you just joining us, we're wrapping up a series of about 8 episodes spanning the Oregon coast from approximately the central part of the Oregon coast all the way up to the northern end. And so this will be the last episode of this particular series. I've been doing this kind of in conjunction with a few friends going up to the Oregon coast and spending some time up in these areas. So we decided we'd go out with a bang. We'd actually start out early in the morning. Don't get used to that, but it's kind of nice to wake up with the sliver moon in the sky. We're coming up on a new moon, and of course, got a couple stars, some of the brightest stars in the sky that have not yet disappeared with the sun. So the sun's going to be changing pretty quickly on us here, but that's okay, because we're going to have a really, really beautiful finale to this little trip that we've taken. We've got the morning jams on, and we're going to start up our plane. We're going to call in our departure, and before you know it, we're going to be on the road. So just to give you a little overview of what lies ahead this morning, we're going to go, first of all, we started episode 1 here in Wheeler, Oregon, and I thought it appropriate to end our series where we began. Right here in Nehalem Bay, we're going to be taking off. We're going to do a quick flyover of the Nehalem Bay area, Wheeler, Nehalem, and then we're going to move a little bit west and north into Manzanita, one of the most beautiful beaches that you'll ever find on this planet, with the backdrop of Neahkahnie Mountain to the north. And by the way, Neahkahnie Mountain is one of the best hikes along the entire Oregon coast. If you've got a little bit of stamina to get up to the top of that mountain, you'll be rewarded with beautiful, beautiful vistas down looking over Manzanita and Neahkahnie Beach. So after we finish our little tour of Manzanita, we'll go up north, and we'll be entering Oswald West State Park, and that's got its own wonderful, wonderful, world-class little beach cove right there, Short Sands Beach. There's a little trail right from the 101, about a 15-minute hike down there. You're going to cross a little bridge over a creek, and you're just going to come out into a secluded little cove where you're just going to really, really enjoy yourself. So, there's Oswald West State Park. What happens at the north of that? Well, at the north end of Oswald West is Cape Falcon, and then you move north and you're going to hit Arch Beach, and then eventually Hug Point State Park. We've talked about that before, but that is really, really a wonderful beach you'll want to check out if you've got the time, and you need to make sure you visit that at low tide if you want to access the most beautiful parts of that beach. Little waterfalls and little kind of sea caves and the sandstone cliffs. It is just really, really amazing. Just north of Hug Point, we're going to be moving on to Arcadia Beach, and then of course into the Tolovana area and up into the famous Cannon Beach with Haystack Rock. Then, the last few items on our agenda today is going to be probably the most famous state park in Oregon, and that is Ecola State Park, with its beautiful Indian Beach and its beautiful Crescent Beach and its wonderful trails, and probably the best viewing spot of the Tillamook Rock Lighthouse, which is the one lighthouse you can't approach because it's out there, well, unless you're on a boat on the ocean, because it's out there a few miles out off the shore. Okay, so what's north of Ecola? You're going to move into Seaside. Seaside is a very unique, kind of fun, carnival-y, family-type atmosphere. Lots of activities come to the beach, volleyball tournaments. You've got the long promenade that spans the entire beach, little concrete walkway, and then of course you've got the Broadway with all the candy shops, restaurants, kite shops, novelty shops, antique shops. galleries, you name it. Seaside's got it. A little busier town. You've got the river. You've got a little entertainment center with paddle boats and bumper cars and arcade. It's just a really fun. When I think of Seaside, you think of fun, right? Family fun. North of Seaside, we've got Gearhart, and north of Gearhart, you move up right towards the top end of Oregon, and that is going to leave you at Warrenton and, of course, Fort Stevens State Park, and that's going to be leading us over two bridges, well, over one bridge, I should say, but near a very famous bridge that's going to cross all the way across the Columbia River to Washington, and that's in the town, the crown jewel at the top of Oregon, Astoria. Historic Astoria. So that's our trip today, and then we're going to land our plane in Astoria. So very soon the moon is going to disappear on us, the beaches are going to start to show their face, and we are going to have a good grand finale to this series. So sit back, relax, buckle up. We're going to start our plane. I'll stop the yabbing, and let's get moving. Give me one moment while I start up and call in, and then we'll get in the air. Okay, we're starting to get a little more light in the sky. We've had our morning, Coca-Cola or coffee, depending on, your preference. I'm piloting out of here out of Salt Lake City, so that probably gives you an indication of what I'm drinking. Or maybe it doesn't, Anyways, we're going to get on the road. We got to call in our intentions. So before we do that, let's just see. There we go. Get our map lined up. I think that'll be helpful to us to kind of keep our bearings throughout our trip today. Now, we have a fairly short flight today. We really don't have that much more ground to cover. So we'll try to take it slow and enjoy ourselves. Maybe leave ourselves time for, a couple impromptu exploring moments, or I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, we've got all our lights on. I think our trim is set to an acceptable level. Let's take a look at the our piers over here, our pier planes. We always like to see if anyone's outshining us. I would say I'm not too interested in that blue plane right there, but I do like the plane right behind that one. I think I'm just slightly jealous of that plane. Oh, let's see what we got over here. No, no, no. All we got is utility trucks over here, so there's no coveting of that. All right. Well, let's line ourselves up. Let's call in our departure. And we'll be moving today. I think we're going to depart out to the east, believe it or not. As soon as we clear these trees on this bay, we're going to do a flyover of Wheeler and Nehalem, and then we're going to...
7 traffic, HeadTrip 12 taking off runway 3 departure to the east.
Runway 3 to the east. Well, we know what runway that is. And that's all we need to do, guys. I mean, there's no... Well, first of all, no one's probably awake this early in the morning to answer us, but even if there was a tower... But there's not a tower. Nope, not around here. So let's center ourselves and let's just put on a little bit of heat. And let's move ourselves over to the runway. Don't want to disturb too much of the vegetation right here. And we certainly don't want to disturb that that gentleman right there who's so diligently doing his job, staring into the distance. He's enjoying the horizon. He's probably been doing some night stargazing. You know, we're not going to ask, you know. It's kind of don't ask, don't tell. Let's just get moving past him, though. And we'll taxi on over to the runway. Now, when I say we're going to taxi on over to the runway, what I really mean is the taxiway is going to be the runway. Because, hey, this is small town USA. We don't have a large budget here at this airport. The parking is, as you can tell, at a premium. You know. The good news is it's free parking. Not a lot of paid parking in Oregon, and that's really a valuable feature of the state. I don't think I recall. Now, downtown Portland may be different. But hey, you go up to Seattle and you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be paying just to breathe air up there, really. You walk into Seattle and they're just going to pay you to exist. They're going to make you fork out a couple bucks just to have a soul. Okay. Now this said we were taking off on runway 3. Honestly, I don't mean to be a rebel on the very last date of a flight, but let's be honest, guys. I want to take off on runway 15. Maybe it thinks if we're going to go east, 3 is a better option, but really, in my mind, 15 is going to get us over the bay, and it really is the preference. Now, at this point, we're at a decision. Do we wait for a few minutes to let the sun come up? And do we just continue to just sit in our cockpit and listen to a little bit of music? Or do we just take it right now? I really don't know the answer to that question. I'm going to just sit and browse for just a couple minutes. Let's ponder on that question. Get ourselves in the right mental state. You know, for any of you who have watched a previous episode in this series, you'll know, efficiency and speed is really not our forte. We just kind of hang out and do whatever we want. But isn't that what you'd like to do in real life? Just kind of wake up, bundle yourself up in a little jacket, a little coat in the morning. You're just a little chilly. You've got your hot cocoa. You're still kind of shaking your head, trying to make sure you're alert because you've got an important flight ahead of you. And you just sit here on the runway for a while. No one's pushing you. There's no lineup behind you, you know. Everybody's still sleeping. Okay. Well, we are starting to get some sun, so heck, you know what? Let's just go see what the sunset, not the sunset, that is just not a sunset, guys. I want to make it clear that dawn and dusk are two separate things. A sunrise is certainly different. than a sunset. So in case there was any confusion about that, you know what? Let's just shut up and go. Full throttle ahead. I'm going to put down one layer of flaps. You would think I'm still asleep at the wheel here. It kind of feels like it from here, but let's just see if we can get up in the air. I think we've got enough speed now. Let's give ourselves some upward motion. And ideally, not hit some trees at the same time. Now that's pretty. Little town of Wheeler is just starting to stir. Now, you know these guys typically close down early, so you would think they might wake up really, really early in the morning, but I am not entirely convinced that that's true either. Right over top of the hills, and we're going to be right where we want to be. Now, there's a little island out here. Perfect little bay to canoe on, by the way, guys. I would highly recommend it. Lazarus Island. Lazarus waking from the dead. Maybe Lazarus hasn't even woken in the morning yet. Now, I don't know if that's Lazarus here or up further, but Lazarus right in the middle of the bay. And our little town of Wheeler, Oregon. You cannot get better than that. No siree. I may have to do a little more morning flying. This is kind of charming. I'll be honest, I've never seen this side of Oregon this early in real life. I can tell you that much. We're sitting at about 6:40 a.m., I think. For many of you, that's not very early. Just a really charming little valley with the river. And by the way, if you're going to kayak in the bay, you can go right up into the river and just go upstream. And oh my goodness, maybe you can pull your kayak over there at the Pizza Garden here in Nehalem. Get yourself some pizza or some fish and chips right next door. Go over across the street, visit the little music store. I bought some patches from there, and really cool little place. Here's the little tiny village of Nehalem. You're really going to enjoy it. Now, when you're moving up the 101, guess what? The 101 does a hard left right here on this road, and this is going to take you right on over to our next point of interest, and that is Manzanita. Never seen Manzanita in the morning, but I'm looking forward to that. Let's just see what it looks like. It's going to take us right up next to Neahkahnie Mountain. Don't forget that little hike I told you about. I'm being a hypocrite when I say that because I've never taken that hike. It's been on my bucket list for quite some time, but you know, I got to get myself motivated to make that climb. But I'm positive if you do so, you won't regret it. And here we are, Manzanita Beach. I'm going to kind of pull out into the ocean here, and then we're going to come at it from the other direction. The one thing I did notice with this beach is the sand is just nice, white, soft sand. So it's a very pleasant beach if you're just wanting to spend a beach day. Not too busy. It's kind of like a smaller, more quaint version of, I don't know, Cannon Beach or Rockaway Beach. Just not as busy. I mean, clearly there's some activity here. No doubt about that, but it's kind of, it still's got that secluded feel to it. good bird's eye view of Nehalem Bay. Over here on the right, you've got the marinas, Jetty Marina, Jetty Fishery and Marina, and Kelly Bright Marina, where you can do your crabbing. Excellent place to do crabbing. My wife has talked about the little fire pit that they have in case it's drizzly and rainy and cold, and it's just so much for fun. You can cook your crab right there. They let you prepare it, and right out of the ocean you're eating dinner. So one thing I'm learning from this so far is it's probably worthwhile to wake up in the morning and see Oregon from a new perspective. I'll be honest, you know, every time I talk about the time of day and how important that is, if you look back at my episode that we spend on Oceanside Beach talking about all my Oregon tips, a few episodes back, I talk about time of day being so important it changes your experience. But really in the back of my mind I was thinking, you know, evenings, you know, when the sun set, but I'll tell you what, I'm getting convinced of the morning right now. There's not too many places that would make me just super excited to wake up early in the morning, but I'm starting to have a change of heart right now. Are you? Wonderful. I'm starting to sound like, I don't know, one of those, I don't know, one of those guys that say the word wonderful. Now that's Rockaway Beach down there, guys. Also a very, very amazing little beach. Of course, you got Arch Rock out there in the ocean. You can kind of see it right at the tail end of my wings. And Tillamook over there. Okay, we've already been there though on this. Oh wow, that's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Gotta be honest. Looks like we've got our friends out there, Mount Hood, I believe. All the way in the distance. You probably won't see it on a mobile device, so get yourself in front of a computer. You might actually pick it up. We are running 720p after all, so apologize for that. That's more, okay, we just did a full loop, right? I mean, just, heck, it's worthwhile. That's worth it. I'm sorry. It's almost worth flying up into that valley too. But if we do that, we're going to miss Oswald West over here. So we need to keep ourselves focused. Maybe we'll come back at some point. I'm going to try to drop some altitude right now. Let's pull my throttle all the way back. I've got flaps at full. I've got to be a little careful doing this, but as long as we don't sink too fast, we should be just fine. I'm excited for this lake. Now, one piece of information that might be useful, a little heads up. I think a lot of these areas along this part of the coast, I mean, they're really our large cities are behind us. Newport's behind us. Coos Bay is down further south. Those are the areas that we're more likely to get I'm guessing the high detailed photogrammetry where things get really, really highly detailed in the game. Okay, let me level out here just a little bit. So, you know, the features that we see, we'll see. They may or may not render quite as detailed, but they'll be very. I mean, they're going to be realistic from a topographical standpoint. Maybe just not from an aerial photography standpoint. We'll just see. We'll see what we get. I have no idea. No idea. But I do know I need a little more gas, or we're gonna do a premature landing on this beach. Let's put up our flaps. Okay, so Manzanita. I really recommend. There's a little hot dog stand towards the tail end of the road back here. I think it's called Mud Dogs, if I remember. It was fun. A little fun place to eat. And, of course, there's other places. There's the, oh, goodness, what's the place right there on the corner off of 101? Really popular as you come in. Maybe I'll do a look up after this. Neahkahnie, there's your hike up that mountain with your beautiful views. I'll show you a picture of what you'll find up there towards the tail end of this episode. One thing I want to mention here is the drive across the on those cliffs up at Oswald West is just gorgeous. It's one of my favorites. You know, Cape Perpetua is a beautiful drive down south. This is kind of the equivalent of that in a lot of ways. Up here, up north, you've just got great views right out to the cliffs and the sea. In fact, I was reading an article that some lady died, unfortunately. I don't know how long ago it's been, but it was, as I was doing my research, I saw that someone fell down that cliff, I guess. So be careful, obviously. There's a ledge. There's a stone ledge that will kind of keep you in check. But it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. A really fun drive. Fun area to drive. Okay, this brings us into the state park, and guess what, guys? We are here at Short Sands Beach. This little cove that's only accessible through a short trail right off the 101, just a little parking lot. You just, you know, as Jason would say, pick a spot. Take your little 15-minute hike. I'm going to do a loop of this as well. It's worth the effort. You're just going to walk through a beautiful little easy, you know, flat forested area, cross a little bridge and a creek. And I even have the name of the trail that takes you. I mean, there's a couple trails in there. One will take you over to kind of towards this cape we just passed, Cape Falcon. But the other one takes you right down there to Short Sands Beach, and then, you know, it's just a great beach down there. You just kind of feel kind of isolated from the rest of the world. Now there are people like I think the surfers and the boogie boarders or whatever, you know, the people who like to jump in that water and have a good time. Apparently there's some good waves that come because it seems to be a popular spot for that kind of thing. Let's just see where we're. Okay. So that's Oswald West right in the backdrop there. That coast just keeps impressing all the way down. If you haven't seen some of the earlier episodes, I recommend you go back and watch them. I realize these things just go on and on and on, so feel free to look at the chapter markers, find a point of interest you're interested in, it'll take you right there. You don't have to listen to me for 2 hours. But if you want to listen to me for 2 hours, you know, that's fine. I mean, I'm not keeping track. Google's probably keeping track, you know, but I'm not keeping track. There it is, Short Sands Beach. Did some kite flying there. It worked out pretty well. Pretty well for us. By the way, the cockpit jams today are a selection of some of my favorite kind of indie artists that I've run across in the last couple years. Just kind of fun, you know. So that's the beauty of the age of Spotify, is stuff that I would never, ever, ever come across. You just kind of Spotify is really probably just like Google. Spotify is really good at figuring out what you like, what you're in the mood to listen to, and just feeding you that great playlist. So I figured I'd throw a few of them on our cockpit radio today. Okay, right there to the left, that's Cape Falcon. Nice little viewpoint over there, little hike over there. So do a little bit of research, find the hike you want, spend a little bit of time in Oswald West, and I'm pretty sure you won't regret it. We're going to keep moving north though. And in doing so, we're going to run across a couple nice little stretches of beach. Starting with, I believe the first one here is Arch Cape, and then we're going to move from there up into Hook Point, and then from there up into Arcadia. As you can see, these are not going to be the busiest beaches, but they are very accessible right off the 101. So very good options for you. And of course, you've got all this in the backdrop. Maybe not a ton of cellular service, but who needs cellular service when you got this stuff, right? This would be a spot where I'm going to probably do a really good job at misidentifying features. I'm going to see if I can find Hug Point down here, because it's a very common recommendation I make for people. I mentioned once again, you've got to go at low tide if you really want to enjoy the best it has to offer. But let me see if I can definitively tell where Hug Point starts, where it is. There's a little parking lot that comes out. I want to say it's right here. Now I don't know if the game's rendering it properly, but this looks pretty close to it. You know, you've got those sandstone kind of cliffs, right? Little caves back in there. That looks like Hug Point to me. And the reason why you need to go at low tide, you see that little, right where my nose is, right? That little head that comes out, that one. Can't, right there. You won't be able to get around that. You won't be able to get around it unless you're at low tide, and you'll get stuck out there if you don't watch it. So that's Hug Point. Little waterfall out there, little caves, you know, short little shallow caves that you can kind of explore. It's wonderful. It's really worthwhile. And of course, Arcadia Beach. Moving into the Tolovana Park area, coming up here, and you're going to get into some more populated areas. Believe it or not, there's a Moe's up here. And we've got one more, if not two, even further north. And you see what I see, right? I spy. What do you spy? Haystack Rock. The famous Haystack Rock from the Goonies. Really the most famous haystack on the entire Oregon coast, right there in Cannon Beach. So when you see Haystack, you know, I'm going to go down there. I think there's plenty of reason to go down. Do you? We may have waited a little too long to make our descent, but we'll try. Let's just be aggressive. Let's go. Straight down like Evel Knievel. See if we can get ourselves a close shot of that Haystack Rock. It's really, really an amazing, amazing haystack. A lot of birds come and perch on it. A lot of tide pools, actually, at low tide. Here we go, low tide again. If you want tide pooling at Cannon Beach, that's where it's going to be, right around Haystack Rock. Here we go. It's really, really nice. Cannon Beach is a really thriving and busy town with a ton of restaurants, a ton of galleries, a ton of shops, a ton of fun, and a ton of people. And not very much parking. I would say not very much parking at all. There's our haystack right there, guys. That was nice. And if you thought that was amazing, oh, you just wait. Up here at Ecola State Park, it's going to be one of the parks that you got to pay for, maybe 10, 15 bucks to get in. Don't let that deter you at all. This state park up here is just phenomenal. For the viewpoints, number one, here at Ecola Point, looking back towards Cannon Beach, it's one of the most just iconic, beautiful views. There's trails in here. There's trails that go from Crescent Beach to Indian Beach. Indian Beach literally is probably my favorite beach on the entire Oregon coast. Hello, how you doing, Reagan? Okay, you can give me just one quick second and we'll help you out. Reagan's got a little bit of homework, so I'm going to get you through Ecola and then I'm going to put you on pause. I'm going to go help my daughter do her homework and then we'll finish up. I think this is a good stopping point for a moment. I'm going to pause the game. I'm going to pause the sun. And so we just pick up right where we left off. And not only that, oh, by the way, there's the Tillamook Rock Lighthouse up there. There it is, right there. Now, of course, you don't see a lighthouse there, but that's where it is. And the only place to see it up close, or at least as close as you can get, is right there off those trails on the Clatsop Loop Trail, I believe. That'll take you close out to the viewpoints. Worthwhile. Beautiful park. Even the driving through the park is just mesmerizing. Just real narrow roads. Very, 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 I don't know, isolated. Even though it's a busy park, it's just got that feel of you're out in the middle of nowhere. Okay. All right, I think that gets us out far enough. Let's turn around. We'll drop down again. Let's see if we can take this at a little bit slower pace. Kind of all blends together at this distance. But I think we've got Haystack Rock over here. I'm going to try to watch my altitude or else we're going to land in the drink. We're at about, what, 850 feet? getting pretty low now. There we go. See if we can get her bearing here. There we go. Boy, we'd be lost without that rock, wouldn't we? We're going to try this one more time. This time maybe we'll fly a little bit over town and show you some of the town. At least we're going to try. Getting pretty close over there. Here you go. Here we go. Here's a little bit of a view of the town, kind of beach. All the fun that can be had down there. And let's try Ecola one more time. Okay. Right after this point is Crescent Beach. That I do know. This is the first beach to the south in Ecola. And then, of course, this big head coming out into the water is Ecola Point, where your views are. Coming back towards this way, towards Haystack and Cannon Beach. Very, very pretty. Then you've got a couple smaller little coves, and then the larger one here is Indian Beach. Indian Beach down here. This is really, really a great beach with Indian Point over on this side. And then your trail system, your Clatsop Loop Trail is up here in Ecola, and you'll have your great viewpoints out here towards the Tillamook Rock Lighthouse. And that is Ecola State Park. Well, we're not done of it yet, but shall I say, this is Ecola State Park. hop in our cockpit for a moment. Get a view of it from inside. That'd be a compelling flight, wouldn't it? Okay. The fun hasn't started rolling in yet in Seaside, but we're going to be rolling in and going to give you an idea of all the fun that can be had in here. We've talked about a lot of it earlier in the episode, but a lot of lodging, a lot of food, long promenade. Let's see if we can drop down and actually see the prom. Anything's possible. It's kind of like a morning in Las Vegas, right? I mean, everybody's still hungover from the night before, apparently, and the morning people are going, "Wow, this is a different place out here now." That's what morning in Seaside's gonna be like, other than, you know, not as quiet and not as quiet. Can't talk. Not as quite as wild and, you know, unruly as Las Vegas, clearly. More family style fun. But, you know, the river. So the promenade is this, you can see it down there, that long, long walk along the beach. Right there at the edge. Of course, you've got the World Mark there, you've got the Shiloh Inn, you've got the Moe's there, you've got the aquarium, and then you've got Boardwalk, which is all this down here, all the shops, and so forth, so forth. Now, right here is where you can do all your paddle boating, and then, of course, over here is the Rivertide, which is an amazing little place to stay if you're staying in Seaside. There's plenty of places to stay that are really nice in Seaside. That gives you an idea of what Seaside's going to look like. A lot of fun back there. Looking at Ecola from the back side. And now we're moving up into the Gearhart area. According to my neighbor, who's going up there this week, apparently it's a place that's fairly popular for sand dollars. So I wish you luck. Hope you come home with a ton of sand dollars. They say if it's purple or dark gray in color, don't take it because it's still living. Let's kick up the jams here a little bit on this last stretch. There's a nice little movie theater down there somewhere in Gearhart, I believe. Not that that is, you know, the most unusual thing that you've ever heard, but, you know, there's not a ton of movie theaters along the coast, so if you're a movie buff, you can find yourself a little movie, if that's your sort of thing. Getting up here right towards the very, very top end of Oregon. up towards the bar, the mouth of the Columbia River Gorge. Now the Peter Iredale Shipwreck is roughly, or it's still up here a little ways. But, well, let's just see if it's even possible that it renders in the game. Trick to finding it. Here's the trick to finding the shipwreck. Come up here until you see the little KOA campground. So we're going to need to get ourselves a good little shot here and see if we can find it. Look for a swimming pool down there. We'll see. This might be it. Very possible this is it right here, but it's just a little difficult for me to tell. But there's some possibility, so I'm going to head out towards the coast right here. There would be a parking lot out here. That's it right there. You see it right there. Let's see if we can hop down. See that little dot on the beach? Right where my nose is pointing now. That's the shipwreck. Jason could move his camera a little better. That's it. Kind of cool. So that's where your Peter Iredale Shipwreck is in Fort Stevens State Park. We'll try to do a little bit better with our camera work here. I feel a little disoriented. Might need to take some, what's that stuff you take to keep you from barfing in a plane? All the way up to the bar. Now I will say this. This area up here is one of the most dangerous places to cross, apparently. They call this the graveyard of the Pacific because there's been, you know, roughly, who knows, like 2,000 or something shipwrecks, all right, along this bar up here. Because I guess the way it works is, you know, as the river comes out and meets the ocean, the current of the ocean, depending on several factors. There's shallow enough bar that kind of just tears itself up towards the mouth of this river, and it can become quite dicey. Not that you'll need to worry about that unless you're a captain. Unless you're flying a plane in Flight Simulator, or a little more relevant, you know, doing something actually real. Well, that was mind-bending. That was a really profound statement that I had to offer there towards the tail end of our trip. I'm glad that I could, you know, provide a little bit of wisdom. You know, if you're doing something real in the world, it could be a little dicey. I don't know what message we're sending to our passengers here. Stay away from real things? I don't think that was what we intended, but, you know. This is it, guys. The end of the line for Oregon. Right across the channel. Of course, you've got Washington. And that's going to lead you all the way up to, you know, if you're Debbie and Jason, all the way up to Blaine, Washington, right by the border of Canada, at about 11:30 or 11:45 at night. You pull into the lobby, and they say, "Hey, you know what? Here's your keys." Drunk guys telling stories of dead people and murders, and then you go into your room, and then next thing you know is your door won't lock, so you can't shut the door from the outside, and you're just like in Bates Motel. And so then you go back to the lobby and say, "You know what? I think we're going to try something different." They say, "Oh no, you don't. We just turned away our last customer for the night, so you're stuck." So you go back in there and you're like, "Hey, honey, it'll be all right in here. There's, even though that guy just said there was 5 murders in this hotel, I wouldn't worry about that." So she pulls out the Gideon Bible, starts reading it, and you're like, "You know what? Let's just head on out to the Super 8. So we just left and headed on to a Super 8. And, hey, let me get to the end of the story. We're still alive. So, that was Blaine, Washington for you. That was just our experience. I don't know how I got there. Just Washington triggered that memory for me. We had a wonderful time in Washington, just not in Blaine, Washington, per se. So over here is Warrenton with the bridge over to Astoria. Now we're going to dip down because we're going to kind of come. You can see the cool bridge from Astoria all the way across the channel to Washington. And I think we're going to fly that. We might as well. What we'll do is we'll do a flyover of the bridge, and then we'll swing back around and we'll do a flyover Astoria before we ground our plane and bring this episode and this series to an end. Astoria is just a really, really remarkable city. The architecture is beautiful, built up on a hill. Just a lot of history. If you're a museum buff, don't miss it. Lots of museums. You can watch the ships coming in and out of this channel. It's just really, really cool. Really, really cool hanging out around the graveyard of the Pacific Ocean. Unless you start to overspeed your plane. Well, that was interesting. You gotta wait for those yeah, going a little too fast. Got a little too excited there. So not a big deal. We can start up from where we were, can't we? Let's see what happens. Here we go. And now we enter the never-ending boot-up sequence of Flight Simulator. Okay, we're back. A little bit of technical difficulties there, but nothing we can't recover from. It's bound to happen on the very last leg of your trip, probably the most dangerous part of the trip. I did call this the graveyard of the Pacific Ocean, and I stand by that claim. We got one more down, one more to add to the graveyard, so let's see if we can pay attention to our flying just a little bit better this time around. Maybe live up to the credentials of our pilot's license if possible. Why don't we head off into the skies? I'm pretty sure we're going to be in autopilot mode, so let's take it off. It's sending us over to Washington. We don't want to quite be over there. So let's turn off our autopilot. And hopefully this will get us back on track. You know what, this is, this feels like it's destiny, because I think what we're meant to do is we're meant to come over the bridge from the Washington side. And so we're going to come over the bridge, and we're going to enter Astoria from the north, from Washington. So apparently the universe knew what was best for us, decided to send us to our watery grave to try again. Let's just watch that overspeeding. If you get your speed up too fast, guys, your plane is not going to withstand the pressure. So let's just try to be a little more responsible in the air. We ask you to put your seat backs in the upright position. We are entering the mouth of the Columbia River as it meets the Pacific Ocean. Our flight is coming to an end shortly. We'll be heading down into Astoria in just a few minutes. We hope you've enjoyed your flight and the entire series, frankly, with HeadTrip Air. Thank you for flying with us. We know you have many choices, and we're grateful that you've decided to fly with us. There's our bridge coming into view, so let's drop our elevation. I'm going to put some flaps down this time so we don't overspeed our aircraft. That's a much more sustainable speed coming into the Astoria area. What I was mentioning prior to our initial mishap is Astoria has a lot of character, a lot of wonderful architecture, has a lot of great museums. You can sit by the bridge and just watch the ships roll in and out. Lots of good food. You've got the Goonies house. You've got the Astoria column up on the hill where you can just get a good 360-degree view. I'm going to say you can get a 365-degree view because it's that good. And honestly, it's just worthwhile. Nice little shadows there. That's kind of pleasant. It's kind of fun making this drive across the bridge, although it's not probably quite as fun for someone like my brother who accidentally drove up to Oceanside, Washington by accident. They were driving in the evening and they just got distracted and were having conversations, and it was the first time that they were coming to the Oregon coast, and he called me up and said, we're not finding Oceanside. We're on the, we just crossed this really, really, really long bridge. I was like, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, brother, because there are two ocean sides, and if you crossed a long bridge, you got some backtracking to do. And you guys will know, because of our flights, how long they have to go. It is not close. And they were I don't know what time they pulled into their hotel, but it wasn't early. It was in the middle of the night. I know that. And there she is. Look at that bridge. We're going to cut right on over. Right on over. There's a nice little, it was like a Hilton Express or something like down there that we stayed in right there at the foot of that bridge. And that was a really nice hotel. It was great views. It was a really good experience for us. And here's Astoria. And right up here at the top of this hill, you may have guessed, this is going to be the Astoria column. Now, the game is not going to render it. It's a big column that you're going to walk straight up. And when I say walk straight up, you're going to walk in circular patterns, up and up and up and up and up and up. Just like walking up to the tower in Notre Dame, I guess. You're going to be winded, you're going to be tired, but you're going to be glad you made the walk, because then you're going to have these 365-degree views of the rivers, the valleys, the ocean, the bridge, Astoria, the hill, the bridge again, the Columbia River. Just fantastic. And that's where the Astoria column is, right back there. Not that football field down there. The top, the pinnacle of that hill. Right? And then this way, back toward Portland. And you've made the full cycle. Now, we haven't explored the southern coast. That will be for another series or another season. I do want to eventually do that so that we have every single town along the coast covered. All the nooks and crannies, and there is plenty from Florence down. But for the moment, we're going to restrain ourselves so that we can move into a few different types of flights here at HeadTrip. We've got to start up our world tour shortly here. We've got to do a few night flights with our HeadTrip star parties. We've got a few HeadTrip flight schools planned, a few happy hours, all different kinds of in-flight activities here at HeadTrip. And then we'll eventually make it back around to some more Touring Co., right? Touring Co. is our travel and tour guide arm of HeadTrip, where we show you around to some of the most beautiful places in the world. We've started the entire series off with the Oregon coast, and if anybody has any really strong suggestions for where you'd like us to fly, please come to the Discord community or drop us a line in the comments on YouTube, and we'll take your input into consideration. Really do hope you've enjoyed watching some of this scenery as much as I've enjoyed flying it. I realize it's been a little bit long-winded at times. We've jumped the shark on multiple occasions. You know, you have your good days, you have your bad days, but any day on the Oregon coast is a good day indeed. head back towards the airport and bring our plane and our episode down for closure. Better line ourselves up, and we better call ourselves in.
Alpha Sierra Tango traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is on final runway 26 to land.
Coming in for the soft glide. Just in time for breakfast. See if we can make this landing without incident. A little rough right now. That was a little tricky, but we kept everyone alive, and that's the important thing. We'll pull ourselves into parking. Trying to get our bearings here a little bit. I see fuel trucks, I see ground vehicles. I'm just looking for maybe some aircraft parking, so we'll just pull in here. I see one plane in there. Okay. That seems like as good as a spot as any. Okay, so right before we sign off on here, what I wanted to do is I wanted to keep a promise here and show you a few of the highlights of where we've been, where what we've seen along the way. Let's pull back out and find our bearings here. We started up here around Nehalem Bay and Wheeler, and we came flying out of that airport and kind of take the pass. Well, you get to the end of these episodes and your English starts to really take a dive for the worse. You take a left over to the Manzanita beaches, and then you take the right. So, anyways, yeah, it gets really dicey here at the end. So, Manzanita, there's the Neahkahnie Mountain with your beautiful hikes and the wonderful drives along the cliffs of Oswald into Short Sand Beach with Cape Falcon Lookout. And here's your little trail. I'm going to show this to you. It's really just an easy trail. You've got a little parking lot right there. See that? There's one on the west side of the road. There's another one on the east side of the road. Usually plenty of parking, and then you just take your little trail right through here very quick. Neahkahnie Creek Trail. That is the trail you want. I'm glad that Google Maps reminded me of it. Your little creek's over there, and you're going to pop right out here with all the surfers into this beautiful cove. And moving up, then you've got Arch Cape, and then you move into Hug Point. I'm going to show you Hug Point. This is important. There's that little head that you're going to need to wait for low tide to get around. There's the parking lot. You're just going to come right on down, and you're going to move on over here, and then you're going to wait for low tide, and then you're going to move right beyond this. That was a complete lie. That was a complete lie. This is the one that you need to be low tide before you get beyond, I think, because the Hug Point is where the actual old Pioneer Road was. This is the Pioneer Road right here, right up along here. You can see it. And you can walk along that and make sure you have shoes. And the stagecoaches used to take their little passage along that. It's the only way they could get their stagecoaches was along the coast. And so they had to kind of build that little Pioneer Road. Here's where the waterfalls are, right over here, right there, and you've got the caves back in here. It's just a really, really nice. Let me just show you what it is we're looking at here, shall we? Let me see if I can bring it up by any chance. Close this out and bring up, like, is it this button? Yeah. Hug Point. Let me show you Hug Point. Show you a few pictures. Okay. Here's a good one. Just really interesting color of those cliffs. Little waterfall right back here. Really fun. There's a little waterfall. Nice little beach to hang out at. If you want, you can kiss. You can go in caves, and well, let's just move on. Okay. All right. So that's Hug Point, right? That's Hug Point State Park. Really, really highly recommended. You're going to enjoy it. Arcadia Beach. And then, of course, up here, Silver Point. You get into the Tolovana area. There's your Moe's, another Moe's, Tolovana Park. And, of course, Cannon Beach with Haystack Rock. Okay. I'm going to show you some pictures, though. I mean, you're going to see a million pictures of Cannon Beach. You can find those easy online. I'm going to bring you up here, though, to the Ecola because I want to show you something. So here's kind of the trail system, right? The road's in. Little trail system. That's actually a road. And then this is the first parking lot, right? So this is the first parking lot. Big, large, open area. You can have picnic tables down there. Come down to the viewpoint. You'll see the pictures, though, that you get out of that place. I mean, this is looking back towards Cannon Beach. And it's just really, really picturesque. Iconic pictures from Ecola State Park. Right? I mean, look at that. It's just really hard to beat. Okay. That's where you're at in Ecola. Now you're going to come back out, and you can take a trail between this parking lot and through Crescent Creek and a couple of these little nooks and crannies and bays, and then the famous Indian Beach, my favorite beach of all. Certainly my favorite beach of all. Let me show you a few spots of Indian Beach. I mean, are you kidding me? Indian Beach is just magical. Trust me on this one. If I haven't convinced you with the pictures and with the flyover, I just don't think there's any convincing. There's your Indian Beach. Consider yourself informed. Consider yourself warned. And then, of course, you've got your trail system here, your classic loop trail. And that'll take you out and give you a really good look at the one and only Tillamook Rock Lighthouse. Looks a lot better in person than in the game, doesn't it? A little more kissing on the bench. Oh, hey, now's a good time to balance the checkbook. Do you think? No, don't you even bring that up. We'll do that when we get home. Oh, okay. Let's just sit here and look at Tillamook Rock Lighthouse. Okay? But I'm at least going to code my transactions in, Quicken. No, you're not. We're not even going to talk about that yet. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. That's Ecola for you. I'm feeling like I've skipped something. I want to go back just for a moment and show you a little more. I showed you old Oswald West. It'd be kind of fun to show you this. This is the views of that drive out there in Oswald West. Let's see if we can just get you good. And we're right around this area, you know. Here's the drive, looking down on Manzanita. There you go. Let's see, is this one of those 3D ones? No, we'll find one though. These cliffs. Goodness. There you go. That's it. That's a good shot of it. There we go. saying? Really beautiful drive right here. This is the reward you get if you climb to the top of Neahkahnie Mountain. This is the viewpoint down onto Manzanita and Neahkahnie Beach. A little bit of effort, but a lot of reward. Here's the 3D of the Neahkahnie viewpoint. Lucky you. If you're even in the area, consider yourself a blessed soul. Right? Fantastic. Just fantastic. Okay. That gives you a pretty good feel for Manzanita as well. I think I've already showed you Wheeler a little bit, but maybe I'll just show you at least the old Wheeler Hotel. It's just the one place that we haven't been yet that we would just really like to go to one day. Just nice views from Nehalem Bay. Here's the waterfront. Little town of Wheeler. And right up there it is. There's the old Wheeler Hotel. Just a little yellow hotel. Here's a good shot of it. There's a good shot of it. Train coming through the valley. Goodness. You know, one other thing that I want to show you. Since this is our grand finale, I can indulge myself and keep this going just for a little longer than I really ought to. At least I'm going to try. For some reason it doesn't want me to zoom in and out at the moment. Here we go. We want to come over to Nehalem. If our computer will cooperate. At this point, nothing's really responding well. That happens. There we go. My goodness. Here we go. Right down here in Nehalem. Let's see if we can get a few pictures of the town down here. I'd already mentioned to you the wonderful pizza garden, which is, I do believe, right there, with some outdoor seating here, docks. Let's just look down here. That's your view. That's your view from the deck at the pizza garden. There's the little strip of antique shops, music shop, restaurants. Right here, a little bit of kayaking. Take you out to the bay. All that good stuff, and then of course that road leads straight out. Bends around the corner to Manzanita and Neahkahnie Mountain out that way. So now you have a good feel for the little town of Nehalem. I thought that was important to let you see that too. Just really pretty. There's no filters on that photo. Okay. All right, good. That gets us pretty well caught up on our trip all the way up to the beaches, Cannon Beach. What the hey? Let's give ourselves a few little photos of Cannon Beach too. I think that's going to be important. There's your tide pooling out there, right? Like these areas when it gets low tide. Nice place to explore. Nice wide. You can actually get these little kind of bikes, like beach bikes, like with the big wide tires, and or little what am I trying to say? Scooter things, little tricycle things that you can ride along the beach. Kind of fun. There you go. There you go. There's your tide pooling. Cannon Beach being very, very popular with the tourists. Probably the most popular. Move up to Seaside. Lots of fun. Have we used the word fun yet for Seaside? Let's just do this. There's a little river that you can do paddle boating on. There's your paddle boats. Little goose. That's pretty cool. Oh man, that's just, come on. You gotta do those. Beautiful backdrop of Ecola State Park right to the left. If you're a river person, hop on the river. If you're a beach person, hop on the beach. If you're a shopper, go down Broadway. If you want to walk along the beach, there's the promenade. See if we can get a few pictures of the actual street down on Broadway. There's Broadway down here. Let's just see if we can get some pictures of some stores down here. Not having a lot of luck, but plenty of stores. Kite stores, toy stores, candy stores, all kinds of stores, restaurants. You get the idea. Okay. I think that is, other than, I don't think there's a whole lot to show here. I'm going to go show you that Peter Iredale Shipwreck up here towards Fort Stevens. Just look for the KOA, which is, let's see if I can find it. It's not too hard to find. There it is. There's the little, nope, that's the, well, clearly I don't know what I'm talking about. Is it over down here, maybe? Where is it? Nobody really knows. It's a mystery. think it's somewhere in this direction.
Every search for truth leads me back to you.
My goodness.
If the path's not clear, come and find me here. If love is a game, it doesn't feel the same to me. Still I live to breathe every word you say. Every action is just a reaction.
There it is. That was a little hard to find. There's the KOA that I was looking for, right there. So anyways, right after the end of this road, we're going to find the shipwreck. Right there. There's the shipwreck. Here's some of the pictures. Really unique, fun thing. Okay, last thing, we'll just give you a quick little snapshot of Astoria and we'll be done. In the background, there's your first bridge here. There's the airport that we just landed at. And Astoria, the beautiful. There's a bridge. Holiday Inn Express, that's what it was. Nice little city on the hill. They have a little trolley that runs up and down near that area. Right on. Okay. Just kind of comes. There's the Astoria column. I guess you'd probably want to see that. Let's do it this way. Oh, here's an example of some of the architecture. Nothing else, you want to go there for just the beautiful architecture, well, and those. And the views from the column. You walk in that door and you just walk up, 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 And here's the little balcony on the top. It's great. It's wonderful. Okay. I think that brings us to a pretty good conclusion of our Oregon Coast tour. I indulged a little bit there at the end, dragged it on because maybe I don't want it to be over, but we still got the southern coast to do one day. We're just going to take a little break from it all, and we hope you had a really, really good experience just seeing this Oregon coast from a new perspective. Back to Portland. Okay. Thank you for joining us here at HeadTrip Air, and we hope you'll come see us again sometime soon, see what's going on, and we will all, as always, catch you on the flip side. See you later.